Whoa, watch what you doing, son. Watch the gators, man. Oh, my bad. This is Armani right here. This is tailor-made, man. This ain't that Jamaica Avenue shit. Pardon me. You know, hand me my cufflinks. I'm simply the best.
Hello people and welcome back. This is the Bad Blood Podcast. Doing things a little bit differently today, so we'll not be mentioning sponsors straight off. But today we've got British champions, bare knuckle, PitFighting, Robbie Adamson. How are you?
I'm really good, mate. Thank you. You okay?
Yeah, we're good. Welcome to the podcast, mate. It's been, like I said, I've been looking forward to speaking to you. I spoke to you a few days ago. You're a fantastic bloke. Really glad to have you on the podcast.
I know, that's it. I was dying to speak to you once I heard, obviously, Christian Roberts. He had his podcast with you, which I've listened to twice now. I listened to the one, and then the second one, I thought, you know, I genuinely woke up in the morning and I thought to myself, you know what, I really want to go to work in Manchester because I work all over, you see. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know, I hope that I'm in Manchester today, and because it's an hour and the podcast an hour long, do you know what I mean? So I literally popped it on, played it through my speakers in my work van, got all the way there, and 2 minutes before I rocked up on site, your podcast had ended, and you know what? It made my journey last 2 minutes.
Spot on, that man.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Really entertaining, really well presented, and you know, the knowledge of boxing, you know, of past and present fighters for you guys is absolutely astonishing. Now I'm really bad with names and I can't really remember the names very well, although I do obviously I watch the sport and I'm a massive fan of boxing and all martial arts and combat fighting, but I'm a stickler for names. I'm crap at remembering names, but when you guys were firing them off, I'm like, bloody hell, I don't know who they are, but they sound good just by listening to you.
It just becomes a lifestyle, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's it, man. When you're in the game like you guys and been in it for so long, and you're like a big sponge to it all, and you can just take it all in, and you know it's nice to listen to you boys that know what you're talking about, and you're not biased in any way. Like I said, you're just straightforwards, and you tell it as far as you're concerned how it is. Do you know what I mean? Which is great.
Nah, it's the best way to be, mate. Best way to be. Yeah, we appreciate that. That's canny, that, like, mate. Cheers.
Yeah, good, nice words. So, Robbie, what brings you onto the Bad Blood Podcast? We love your fighting style. We love how you fight. We respect you as a fighter.
PitFighting, it's a different league. Like, I mean, fucking credit where it's due. I mean, it takes some balls, that kind of stuff. It's different. It's just all in there, close in your face. How do you deal with it?
It is massively a different ball game, and you know what? One of the weirdest things is a lot of people look at it and go, I could do this. I could knock that guy out. Do you know what I mean? But it's not just about getting in there and throwing a few punches down like you would do in a street fight once you've had a couple of beers. Yeah. You have to be able to mentally take on the responsibility of the fact that you are going into a pit and you are fighting. Yeah. And you have to train, and you have to train hard, and you need, when you get in there, it's not just a case of fighting hard and keep going. You've got to be able to sustain that, and it's not just a case of like most people in a street fight. You have a couple of punches thrown, and then you walk away, or you run away, or it gets split up by a bouncer. That bouncer's not going to split you up. You know, you're there to fight. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Until someone's done, and that's rather knocked out, or you've been stopped for a cut, but you can't just walk out. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think mentally wise, one of the biggest destroyers of the fighters is BKB. Is a lot of people think they can do it, but when it actually boils down to it, you know, their arse drops out, and you know, they do get the jacket in. Am I allowed to swear?
Oh yes. Feel free, my friend.
Things when you're talking and you're thinking, oh man, I want to swear, I want to say something, but yeah, it's fucking brutal. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. Like,
you know, the sport is absolutely fucking brutal, and I've come from a boxing background. I've been boxing since I was a kid. I was training at 14, and I think I mentioned a bit before when I was chatting with you before. Mm-hmm. I don't like bullies. Do you know what I mean? I absolutely hate bullies. And so when I was 15, I stuck up for a young lad that were getting bullied. They were a brother a younger brother of my pal, and I was stuck up for him. And I ended up fighting, basically they said, oh, you go get, he said, oh, if you were going to go get your big boy, we'll go get our big boy. And I basically said, look, mate, go and get the biggest guy that you can find, and then let's start it out. Yeah, but afterwards, you leave him alone, you don't bully him again, do you know what I mean? Oh. So they went and did that, they went off, and they came back, and they brought this big lad with them, and we had it out, 1-on-1, and I won, do you know what I mean? And then that was on the Friday, and on the Monday, went back to school, because we were still at school obviously, and he was the year above me, and we seen this kid, and I have no beef, no sustained beef with him, I did what I needed to do, and hopefully the bullying was going to stop, and my mate shouted over to him, said, do you want round 2? And he went, what do you call it? He says, yeah, we'll see tonight, won't we? Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, we'll see. So, thinking that 1-on-1 again, round 2, that's fine. Anyway, it turns out that we found out that we were going to have a big clash with a few different colleges, Staltair College, Shickler College, and Year 11. So I've got a load of Year 10 lads that are all game as badger, wanting to have up for a do, and they all marched up to the train station with me, and they imagine a platform going down, up the platform, and then a little run going down to the platform, and all my mates said, right, we're gonna walk, instead we're gonna walk instead of catching train. I'm like, what do you mean? You've all come here to what have I do? I said, they're there. Do you know what I mean? They're all there. Let's go down and let's have it out. No, we're gonna walk. I know that all their asses dropped out. Do you know what I mean? And I said, well, I'm off that way. You were going that way, I'm going this way. So I went down, I had a load of girls around me, and I had 2 other lads that came down, not to fight for me, but literally just to support me. I think they were going to try and jump in if it were getting out of hand, but they couldn't even get to me. I got smashed. But I didn't even get to see the guy who hit, or any of the lads who hit me. I didn't see them hit me until I got off the train and I ready to rock and roll. I remember they were jumping on my head, and I felt like a tooth had popped out. Oof. And what happened was, at that point when I felt my tooth come out, I thought, right, I'm going to have to get up here. I'm going to have to stand up and fight. Do you know what I mean? Because I was pinned onto one of the chairs, the long chairs, and there were 3 lads stamping on my head. Oh. And I stood up, and I'm ready then. My feet are planted, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And the whole train, just like everybody just backed off. And the train stopped at its next place. So then we all jumped off, and I'm like, the guy's jumping in front of me, ready to rock and roll again. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is it now. This is going to be 1-on-1. Let's have it 1-on-1. And this big Jamaican lad stood side of me, and he said, no, mate. I said, you're not fighting. I said, what do you mean? He says, look, mate, your jaw's hanging off. Do you know what I mean? I'm ready to roll, mate. I'm still ready to jump on this guy, and I was going to have it out until I'm not moving anymore. Do you know what I mean? And luckily, I'm thankful the people stood in front of me. A lass that I know, she stood in front of me, and she says, no one's getting to you. And this Jamaican lad, he helped me out, and he says, look, that's it. No one's happening now. And then we just split up. Now, I'm still ready to go at that point with my jaw hanging off. Do you know what I mean? And that's the fight that I think you need to have in you to be the champion, to be up at the top. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Well, obviously, with you being British champ, you've, like you say, you've had gloved fights as well. It takes a certain type of person to go through that pain barrier. When, for instance, take a look at some of the boxing fights that's happened over the years. I mean, the only true likes who've went through that broken jaw phase is the only 2 people that can really solidify in taking that brutal pain barrier is Ali and Paulie Malignaggi before it got stopped when he fought Cotto. Yeah. Because that was very brutal. It takes a certain type of man to walk through that pain. No. And there's not many people who have that type of pain barrier, Robbie. Not many.
It's weird. It's like some people look for an out. That's how I explain pit fighting. It doesn't matter how much you train, how fit you are, or whatever, you can, or how much you burn. This is the scary thing I think about being in the pit. Like, once you're in there and you get clipped a couple of times and it's not going your way, you can see the eyes change, and the eyes are telling you, I need an out, and they get banged, and even if it's not a big bang,
they'll still go down.
You can see it, they go down, and you can't disrespect them. in regards to they got in there, which is massive. Most people can't do that. But they've got in there and they've realised that they're in deep water, and the deep water's not going anywhere. That's the thing about a pit. When you're in a boxing ring and you're in deep water, you can move around, you can recover. Do you know what I mean? You can, BKB or ring boxing with gloves on. You can if you train properly, maneuver yourself out of a position, recuperate yourself, get back in the game. As where pit fighting, you can't. If you don't start well and you get rocked, more often than not, you're out of the game. And most people look for an out. As where I've proven my first fight. I don't know if you watched my fights that I've had, but on my first fight, I actually said at the beginning, and I said to all my pals as well, and they all thought I was absolutely stupid. I said, listen, I'm going to give this bloke 30 seconds. I'm going to let him hit me for 30 seconds, and if he don't knock me out, then I can imagine, being stood in a pit in front of a bloke with no gloves on, with a smile on his face.
Robbie, you told people that on camera before the fight. You told people. I've seen it with my own eyes. You told people, I'm going to do this. This will happen, and he'll hate it. And I've seen it in the fight.
Exactly, and that's a lot of people say stuff but don't actually do it. Chatting bubbles.
You did it. Like I say, I've seen it. Definite.
And the reason why I wanted to do it at a specific time is I had a bloke. My corner man had a whistle, and he blew it once for 10 seconds, twice for 20 seconds, and then he continuously blew it for 30 seconds. So I knew when he blew it, after he continuously blew it, that it's my turn. And if you look at the first two shots that I let.
Go on, Bobby! You got this, Bobby! Go on, Bobby! Come on! Go on, Bobby! Fuck him up! Keep going, guys. Keep going. You're alright, man. Keep going.
Just so everybody knows, the fight has not over. The medics would like to check the injuries to the fighter, and the fight will be back on.
You got this, lad.
Give him some water.
Oi, got some water.
Right.
You got this, Bobby. Come on. Come on.
Absolutely fantastic fight, and we have a new champion here.
Squeeze past your head.
Do you want to raise your hand? You sure?
He wants a fucking. He wants an headbutt. Hit him! Hit him, Crystal!
For those who aren't watching, his missus is just headbutting the fuck out of him, the mad bastards.
you're feeling like I owe you something. Cause you were there at times when I had nothing, but you threw it all away with the shady things you do. Baby, please forgive me for what I'm about to say and what I'm about to do. I can't take no more. I know you ain't been true, ain't got no love for you. Been cheating and telling me lies. You've been creeping while I'm sleeping at night, and you've been chasing every girl inside. You've been messing around and I'm down and so now. You've been cheating and telling me lies. You've been
literally dropped him.
Yeah, he did.
Because
it was. I'd seen that. Literally 2 shots.
Ba-bum.
30 seconds. For 30 seconds, he said he thought he was winning the fight. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I think when he got up rapid after I banged him, bless him, he's a tough kid because he got straight back up and most lads won. But I think a lot of that getting back up were also the fact that he thought I'd come off with a lucky shot. But it wasn't a lucky shot, I'd actually planned it and I already knew what we were doing. But I spoke to the kid's dad prior to the fight, and I said to his dad, I said, I respect him. The bloke came up from London to fight me. Do you know what I mean? Which is great. And I said to his dad, he brought a few lads up and that, and we started having drinks of juice, and they were having the beers and stuff. And I said to his dad, I said, I hope your lad breaks my jaw. He says, what do you mean? I said, I really hope your lad gives me some big licks, and I want him to snap me into pieces. He's like, don't say that. I said, no, honestly. I said, because if he does that, and if I come into this pit and he snaps me into bits and my jaw gets rocked badly, my wife's going to kick off on me and she ain't going to let me do it again, is she? And the reason I did the main reason I did the 30 seconds, because everyone thought it was a strategy to beat the kid. It wasn't a strategy to beat the kid. It was what I did it for, really. I had a bit of an argument with my wife, Crystal, and she turns around and she says, I hope you get knocked out. Do you know what I mean? Alright, well, I'll let him hit me for 30 seconds then. I'll let him hit me for 30 seconds. But obviously, that when you look at it, it is a strategy, do you know what I mean? But actually, I wanted to fight. I didn't want to go there and put someone on the floor. I wanted to go there and have a good rough tumble, trade for trades. Let's see what I've got, let's see what he's got, and man who can take the most is going to take home the prize, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You were mentioning what you were listening to the podcast, and what made you not sleep?
Sorry, say that again.
You said you were at the start of the podcast. You couldn't sleep after you had listened to the last podcast.
Yeah, obviously Tony Mayer's been on the podcast on the last one. This is the main reason why I wanted to get on your podcast.
Right.
I've got massive respect for Tony Mayhem. He's a top lad. He's done the wonders for Spartan Wars. He's helped out with clothing. He's helped out with the posters, the media, and everything that went along. Now Tony's sort of like he's kind of fallen into the position that he's in. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
He's in a good position. He's got a lot of fans, got a lot of supporters, which is brilliant. And like I said, I like the guy, and I like his work ethic in regards to he trains a lot, which is great, and he looks the part. He's ripped up to nines. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In my last fight, I had to get our last to draw a bleeding six-pack on my belly just before the show. I actually filmed it. Six-pack on me. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, fuck me, these guys are looking like proper Spartans. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's me. Although I train hard, I just don't rip up. I just look like a normal bloke, and I call it a dad bod. Do you know what I mean? I've got 3 kids, and I call it a dad bod. I don't drink hardly or anything. I don't smoke, don't do drugs, nothing. But yeah, I can't rip up like Tony Mayhem looks monstrous. Do you know what I mean? He's a beast. And what I got. Not so upset, but what sort of wound me a little bit is like when you were asking questions in regards to fighting experience, past experience, and do you actually like boxing? And Tony, like he admits, he said it on your podcast, a year before Spartan Wars, he'd never even had a fight. Do you know what I mean? He won a fighter. He's not a natural fighter. And then you asked him if he spars. And he's like, no, I don't spar. And obviously, I know you can't spar right. You can spar because I'm sparring this morning. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit awkward, and it has been awkward. And he's not really got a proper camp set up, and he's not doing any sparring. But I don't think he really did much sparring previous to that anyway. Because Tony's not. He might be his natural scrapper. He can scrap really well. Do you know what I mean? That's what's got him where he's got. He fought a guy called Kurt at the beginning, and he's actually a good fighter. And so I've only just watched it, to be honest. I've watched it again just now, and Tony were beating him, hands down he were beating him, but Kirk didn't have the fight in him like he should have had. Yeah. You know what I mean? Bring it, Kirk didn't bring it, and he literally walked out of the pit. He
left his heart off him that night.
you've been a champion, you get dragged out of that pit. It's as simple as that. And I know Tony were explaining, he don't do any sparring, and he's only just started really doing boxing lessons, really. Now, like I said, for me, that's sort of like, he don't really follow boxing, and he don't really, he don't watch, he watches a few, some of the top fights, but he's not a fan of it all, and he's not even a fan of BKB, the ring BKB. I love every single aspect of fighting. Absolute. I live and I breathe it, and I couldn't sleep, and I was sitting there all night thinking, man, my experience of fighting, like without even without being in legal fighting, this is just street fighting. Like I said, I don't like fighting bullies. In the streets alone, I've had more fights than what most boxers have had proper fights. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've been in situations where really, if it were the modern era of today, I would have been dead by now. I would have been stabbed. The way that these people disrespect any man who walks around with a knife, honestly, bro.
Oh, learn to jab, not stab. I'm all up for that. Like, honestly, carrying a knife, it's cowardly.
Yeah.
Drop the knives, pick up the gloves, you know what I mean? Learn to fight like a man. Use the 2 weapons you were born with.
Fight like a man.
Exactly.
I've had fights where I've knocked a lad once tried to knock me off my scooter to steal it from me. I was 16 years old, kid war in his early 20s, local drug dealer. He had 2 cars full of people, jumped out of a car, tried to spin my helmet round on my head. I took my helmet off and I dropped him and I knocked him out clean, knocked him out. I thought I'd actually killed him, to be honest with you.
Cool.
And then I had a car full of lads that come running out of me. And I had, a few days later, I had bloody 9 lads outside my house with knives. Luckily, I wasn't in the house. I were at my girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
I get a phone. You've got 9 lads outside the house ready to come get you. And so I left my girlfriend's house and then went to my house. They actually then went to my girlfriend's house. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the time, and I'd have been, it's not in it. Do you know what I mean? Why have a knife? Do you know what I mean? If you want to fight, nowadays you can't even offer it out in a field because that they're not going to turn up on the road, or they're going to turn up and someone's going to be carrying something and they're going to stick you.
There's no pride in it, man.
There's a fantastic job being done by a man called Darren G from Liverpool. He's doing a Choose a Life Not a Knife campaign and initiative for people on the streets, from the youths, because he says the knife crime leads to gun crime, the gun crime leads to drugs, all that type of lifestyle. He's been going up and down just by himself of his own initiative. I mean, he's been doing it for you, I believe, a couple of years, but that's
really good. And that, them sort of people, they should be proud of themselves. If they can stop, if whatever it is that they say to stop people carrying a knife, if that young boy or man or girl even stands in the house and they've got that knife and they actually pull it out of the drawer and they think to themselves, no, and put it back in, and then they go out and they have an altercation. Luckily, hopefully they're all right, but if they'd have had that knife, they might have just stabbed somebody, a father, a daughter, a son, and it's not just that person that you're killing.
No,
do you know what I mean?
You reckon it's
all loved ones?
Definitely.
And that, to me, be honest with me, if any man pulls a knife on me, and I actually see it, or even a bottle, I can't handle bottles, me, if it's smashed. I don't mind a bottle, but if it's smashed,
mate, it's there to cause harm, massive harm, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't want a big scar all the way across my face. I've got scars from fighting, but I ain't got, I've not got an 8-inch blade mark on my face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no one's actually stabbed me with anything. But when I see that, and if I see someone, even if it's one of my mates, if any of my boys I'll go out with, they all know. Look. Because some people, when they get around people who know that can fight, they sort of like be somebody they're not. Do you know what I mean? They might be a bit cheeky, but I said to people, look, you start a fight and you finish a fight. If you're getting beaten up, I'll intervene and I'll say, look, call it quits. We've had enough. But if it has to be a fight over something, not I ain't gonna stick up for you. And if you're getting battered, sorry mate, but you're getting battered. I'll make sure you're not gonna get get killed, but and it stops when a man hits the floor. When a man hits the floor and you can see it in his eyes that he's had enough, the fight's over. Simple as that.
Definitely. Talking about bumps and bruises, I tell you what could help you with recovery for that. We've got a sponsor here, New Hemp CBD. That'll help the bumps and bruises. If you want vapes, balms, oils, anything you want, it's dropping it on the online shop. They've got lab results. They've got even a blog on CBD, how it's helped people. We've got a discount code here for our listeners. It's plain and simple. Capital letters Lee for 15% off. That's over at newhemp.co.uk. I would head over there. Like I say, we've been talking bumps and bruises. This will definitely help the information on that. So head over to the shop to have a look. Like I say, they've got some fantastic stuff on there. Sorry about that, Robbie.
that can help you recover faster, because that's one of the biggest things in training is recovering. And if you spar, depending on how hard you're sparring, who you spar with, you know what I mean. You don't really do a great deal on any stuff for broken jaws. If you've got broken jaws, then there is what it is.
Would you like to put one of yours?
I know how long it lasts before it gets bloody right again. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Just got to keep going.
Definitely. Well, would you like to plug a sponsor of yours, Robbie?
Yeah, I've got 3 sponsors currently. Now, bear in mind, I don't ask for sponsors. These people have come to me, which is massively. I've got a personal sponsor, a gentleman called Lee. He's helped me all the way through lockdown, and he's helped me basically set up my own gym, really, in my garden, and helped me with getting everything really that I need to continue. A company called Fight Fuel, which is all my nutritions on my diet, and making sure that I've got all the correct supplements to maintain. Because I had a plan last time after my last fight, because it's been really awkward, because my first fight, I was meant to fight a bloke, and I knew he was going to pull out. When you just see somebody, and I look at the Facebook and I see him, and I'm like, this bloke's going to pull out indefinitely. Do you know what I mean? The guy's ripped up to 9s. He looks like a mean guy. He's had past boxing experience, and I'm thinking he's definitely going to pull out, because I'm looking on his posts, and he's got ups and downs. You know what I mean? He's got ups and downs. Don't become a fighter just because you think that being a fighter is going to answer your questions if you're suffering depression. Now, boxing will help you if you do the training correctly.
If you become disciplined in the sport.
It's a disciplined sport, and it's helped me out. I had a big business a good 3 years ago, between me and my wife. We had 2 shops and 26 members of staff, and I lost it all. Do you know what I mean? Absolute cooker of land. And I obviously, I've always boxed, and my wife says I need you to get back into boxing. Now at that time, I was actually trying to get into bare knuckle fighting, because I've had enough of I used to box in ABAs, boxed at a place called Eastburn Boxing Gym over in Skipton, well known gentleman called Naz, ABA coach.
How many amateur fights did you have?
Pardon?
How many amateur fights did you have?
15 ABA fights, and I used to get told off every time I fought. Now, I can't box really well, but I don't box really well. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I fight.
You want the scrap.
And I once remember a fight I had in Halifax, and me and this lad, who since has turned pro, we went toe to toe. And we're absolutely pounding each other to the extent where every time I fight, the people, the promoters love it when I fight, because I have a fight. I'm there for a fight.
Entertaining.
I'm not there to dance around someone. Even in a boxing ring, I'm not dancing around you. I'm going to stand there and I'm going to bang you. And if you bang me back, I don't want to bang you and you fall off. I want to bang you when you're going to bang me back. And that's exactly how it was. And I remember I come out and my trainer's going, yeah, nuts. You're all that hard work and all that hard training. And you stand there and train. And I lost. Do you know what? I was sick afterwards. I was throwing on my guts up after that. Do you know what I mean? And it turns out that my dad overheard the lad talking about, I've never been hit by a bloke as hard as that in my life, and I knocked his filling out of his mouth. Do you know what I mean? and he's what you call it. That for me was a great fight, and I've won fights where I've literally been winning. I remember a fight in Halifax, Harrogate, and I was winning this kid, and I genuinely second round, and I turned and I took my gloves off because I was catching him too clean. He was too easy to beat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what it is. Like my second ABA fight, we were against a lad who had 46 amateur bouts, and his dad had his own gym. Do you know what I mean?
Well
my second
experienced them.
fight. So I've not fought crap people. Do you know what I mean?
You've been in the top contenders.
And you know, I fought some top ranking lads. You know what I mean? Lads who've gone, you know, turned pro. They've done really well with themselves. And you know, I've lost a lot of amateur fights because I generally go in there and I fight instead of boxing. And ABA isn't about
style's not suited.
Point scoring and boxing, which I understand that.
Yeah.
And then I went to a gym in Otley called with a gentleman called Pat Cowdell. And his dad's a well-known professional fighter, and I think he's also called Pat Cowdell. I think we're a European, 2-time European contender, challenger for that belt. And so he got me into unlicensed scene, and we were a lot slower and a lot more skillful, if that makes sense, in regards to the thinking about the shots a little bit. They're actually boxing, if that makes sense. They're not.
It definitely does.
And throwing 10 million punches and scoring 10 million points, as where you can actually mould a fight that you fight unlicensed or semi-professional, as you'd say, because you are getting paid for the fights. You can mould that fight into your fight if you can mould the other person. If you can't mould him, then you lose.
How many non-licensed fights did you have?
I had five unlicensed fights. Now, bearing in mind, I've been boxing since I was 14. I snapped my jaw when I was 15, and then I went into kickboxing, and then I got bored of kickboxing because it wasn't challenging enough, and I went back into boxing, and I've been in and out of boxing for years. I used to work abroad in the summer months, and I used to train in Ibiza, so obviously the amount of I'd come back and have like 2-3 fights in fighting season. But then when I were abroad, I used to train with the Guardia, the Spanish police, and we all know what Spanish police are like. Do you know what I mean? They're absolutely brutal, and I used to spar with them in a gym called Tougher over in Ibiza, just over the road from Amnesia. And I remember being on strip one night, and my boss was looking at the out window, and this policeman came over. Now they wear all the army gear out there, and they've got berets on. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And he came over to me, and he put his fists up, and I was like, shit. Do you know what I mean? I respect any bouncer and any police officer or law enforcement because, you know, they're doing the job. They're all there to do a job. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. And I thought that he thought I might have been somebody that got away from him at one time. And he's putting his fist up, and I thought, bollocks, he's going to have me here with his pals. You know what I mean? He's got a big barrel. Anyway, my boss come running out, and he's like, whoa, what's going on? And he took his beret off, and then I recognised him. Do you know what I mean? I didn't recognise him with his gear on, but when he took his beret off, then I recognised who he was. Do you know what I mean? And that's sort of, so I should have had it, you know, in regards to fights, well over 100 odd fights, but I've not actually had the competitions. I've just gone and trained sparring, you know, on a level of, you know, so, you know, some people, I probably spar with people harder than what some people have fights. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really look at it on how many fights I've had. I look at it on how much actual experience there is within the time that I've been training. Do you know what I mean?
So what brought you to Spartan?
Adrenaline. I tried to get on. Honestly, mate, I watched the shit. Well, what it was, I was meant to fight on BKB TM. 2017. Scott Midzo were meant to be fighting at the same time. With I don't know what name. They rung me up, and they knew I were interested, and I rung them up. So they rung me up and said, right, I've got a fight for you in 10 days. I said, right. He said, who is it? He said, such and such. I said, right, okay. He said, what's the experience? He said, 14 professional fights. I said, right. I said, I'll have it. He said, what, you'll have it? I said, yeah, I'll fight him. And what's he going to do? Knock me out? Me? Kick my ass? It don't matter, does it? Do you know what I mean? I want to fight BKB. You've offered me to go to O2 Arena. 10 days time. I'm not 100% fit, but I'm probably about 70% because I tick over, you know, between. And I said, let's have it. So I jumped in gym with Pat Cowdell. I was there 5 days on trot, and I'm begging for an answer. I'm meant to be fighting in 10 days' time. You've not even given me information of where I need to be, times, anything. And I says, I need to know, mate. I'm not here messing around. Anyway, they turn around and says, 4 days before the show, after diving straight into training, which isn't easy, full training. He said, "Oh no, we're pulling that fight." So I'm like, "No, you've let me down, man. You've got me all hyped up and psyched up, and now you're dropping me." Do you know what I mean? Just like that. I'm willing to fight anyone. It don't matter. Just put me in. But no, they pulled it. So then I watched Rogue Elite.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the Rogue Elite?
Yeah, definitely.
Rogue Elite won. And then I went to watch it, and I went, "Mate, this is what I need." Do you know what I mean? I need this. And then I got put on Rogue Elite 2. I had to fight a guy in Birmingham. He was a European title challenger at K1 kickboxing. He'd only had 3 glove boxing matches, and he was a tough kid. Paul Meehan, I think he's called. They call him the Meatball. And I went down to Birmingham, and I fought this kid, and he was rock solid. Me and him, we traded for 3 rounds. It's a great fight. It's on YouTube. I lost against him. Do you know what I mean? On points. It is what it is. But if it had gone another round, I reckon I would have had him. And I said after the show, I said, "Listen, because his coach, main coach, is the guy who was meant to get me into Rogue Elite." I said to him, I said, "I'll fight you. I've just lost against you, but I'll fight you with no gloves on this show." And he's like, "No, mate, I don't think I'm going to be doing BKB. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna probably still go back to MMA or do my Thai." So then I says, so I got put on Rogue Elite 2 with Seamus Devlin. Right, great guy, absolute monster respect. He runs a gym called Knuckles Gym, and he what you call it? It's the show got cancelled 7 days before the actual event, right? Mm-hmm. And who knows as well as I know, when you're training, when you're putting yourself in a camp, and just how serious I take it. I was temping bowling with my daughters, and I don't like pulling. I'm scared of pulling muscles when I come close to a fight. I'm really scared of getting injured. I was temping bowling with the cradle. You know the cradle.
Yeah.
I was temping bowling with the kiddie cradle. I finished with my daughters, and I sat down. I got this message, and I nearly cried, mate. I was in a bad time. This is just when I'd lost my business.
Ooh. And
I was in a bad place, and I'd just been told that my fight with Bare Knuckles fight with Seamus Devlin wasn't happening, and I was upset, mate, and I was like, all respect to Seamus Devlin, but I nearly rang him up and says, "Look, I'll give you 500 quid, and we'll go in your garden, and we'll just fight. Neutrally, not aggressive, just, not aggressively towards
just
him, but let's have a fight." And luckily, Pat Cowdell, his dad, were having a fight. He had a 6 fight show in Birmingham, and I said to him, "Can I fight Seamus on there?" He said, "You can fight, but you'll have to have gloves on." Do you know what I mean? So we went down, and they had agreed to pay Seamus. I fight for free anyway. So Seamus came down from Birmingham. Monster respect for him, because he didn't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him the reasons, what I was going through, and he came up, and I've even named my daughter after him. Do you know what I mean? I've got my youngest daughter, Renesmee Devlin Adamson, she's called. And that's, represent her for him, because he got me out of a really bad time. And then after that, I saw the BKB pit fighting, and I thought, how the heck do I get on that? Do you know what I mean? And it turned out that the first show that were coming up were actually in Bradford. It were only down the road from my house, and I had that there against Kyle Stonker Allen, and then I was meant to fight a guy called Willard Delaney. No, not Willard, Lucas Burgess from Italy. He fought Darnell John on his last show,
right?
And his knee out. Now he's a well-known Italian fighter, and he was playing a game called Historic and Football, where there's basically 20 on 20, and there's a football. But what they do is they go over and they whack each other in the head, and they jump on top of each other, and they're literally elbowing, headbutting.
I've seen that.
It's brutal.
Heavy stuff.
And he was playing that. And I said to him, listen, if you're going to do it, right, please don't get hurt. And he said to me, he said, "I promise you, what I'll do is if the team's winning, I'll finish at half time." So his team were winning, he finished at half time. And then after the show, we were playing, I think it were Bulgarians. They came over and battered him on back of head with a plank of wood, which obviously put him out of the fight. Now, I had to try and put some weight on to fight him. And then they put me in ring with a guy called Ben Halliway. He's a well-respected bloke around here. Again, I think he's ex-army, boxing army, and he's done a lot of street fights. And 4 people had rung Christian up saying, vouching for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, listen, I says, I'm not going to do, obviously Christian says, don't do 30 seconds again. I said, I won't do 30 seconds. I said, but what I'll do, I said, I'll put him away quickly, right, because I'd arranged to fit a boiler next day. So I said, I'll put him away quickly. I said, to our lad, I said, I want you to headbutt me when I've done. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, just stick it on me as hard as you can. I was like, all right, do you know what I mean? So I beat him really quickly, and you can see me in the video where I turn my wife and and towards the end of it, I said, "Are you ready?" I said, because this guy's going to last, and so I'm going to put him away in first round, and you're going to have to headbutt me. She's like, yeah, I'm ready. So if you watch it, at the end of it, she sticks nut on me, not once, but 6 times. Do you know what I mean?
What the fuck, man?
I'm not the one, do 2 of the 6 were quite big headbutts. There's a picture of our lass, afterwards, after headbutting me. Bear in mind, I ain't got a scratch on me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not bleeding. I've got nutted me clean on my nose, and my wife has got a bleeding unicorn. I call her unicorn because she had a massive bruise on her head, on her forehead, of my nose.
I'm nutting the life out of you.
Which were a little bit hard to explain, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, my last fight were meant to be against a guy called Willie Delaney, who he fought Carl Frampton, 2 times WBA and IBF Super Bantamweight World Champion, do you know what I mean? And so Willie Delaney fought him in his heyday, and he was meant to be coming over from Ireland to fight with me. So, but he was coming up to my weight,
right.
So I will lose as much weight as I could to get to 11 stone, as he was coming up to 11 stone, which it's only fair that now my weight category is 11 to 12 stone. Now I'm down at 72 kg, which is just above 11 stone, and Willie Delaney pulled out 2 weeks previous, 2 weeks to go from a fight, and he pulled out. So Christian rings me up and says, look mate, it's dropped out, what I need to find you another fight. He says, we're going to struggle at this time. Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't want to fight nobody. I want to fight someone who's challenging. So I tell them, listen, I says, find the meanest looking guy, the hardest guy that you think you can find, or who's a bully, and I'll fight him. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to fight somebody who looked monstrous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've got the guy for you. I said, he had a guy who was meant to fight Dan Hunter. But he ended up going into jail, got remanded and got put in jail, so that fight got cancelled, and he'd actually got let out a couple of weeks prior to this conversation, and he said he said to Christian that he was game to fight. Now this guy had called out Michael Marshall, Darnell John, and Tony Meehan, any of known fighters. He actually did a video on Facebook calling us all out, not me out, just calling all big boys out. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. So
well, he's a bully then, isn't he? He wants to fight. He's trying to shut his stuff. He's trying to prove a point.
Aye.
I'll fight him. Do you know what I mean? So 2 weeks prior to that, 2 weeks before the show, I had to fight him. Now, the problem was, I'm down at 72 kg. Jacob walks around at 14 stone.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Heavy.
He's a monster. Absolute monster. And but I had no knowledge of him, like in regards to no information about him. I didn't know if he was a fighter or whether he would just talk the talk. He just didn't know. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that he can fight. Do you know what I mean? He's an absolute monster. If you look at pictures of him standing there and he is absolute monster. Do you know what I mean? And massive respect to the guy. Again, he came up from London to fight me, and his pals brought him up, which is massive respect for that. And he gave me everything he could. He brought me jaw within the first 10 seconds. I kept going. I knew at that point, this kid is a tough. He's not here messing around. Mm-hmm. I think Christian remembers. He was sat next to someone and he says to me, "He's lost. He's done." As in Robbie's done. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just gonna. He's rocked me he's broke my jaw in 10 seconds. What else can he do? He's hit me the hardest he can hit me. He's broke my jaw. I'm still standing and I'm all right. All I have to do is weather that storm. And after 40 seconds, he showed me weakness. Do you know what I mean? He showed me that he did a right hand uppercut, and instead of it being a punch, he pushed it rather than a punch, like a full loaded right hand uppercut. And at that point, I give him a 1-2. He fell backwards onto tails, and that was it. Then game on. My time to shine. Then, do you know what I mean? And I remember, and I caught him at the end of it with a left hook, and it wasn't the fact that the left hook knocked him out, because it didn't. But he'd given me everything that he could. He'd give me it all. Do you know what I mean? And he were oxygen starved, and he were wrecked. Do you know what I mean? He were fucked. And I remember being out at the ring after the fight. And a bloke says to me, after everyone's getting photos and stuff, he said, "Did you enjoy that, mate?" I said, "I did, mate." I said, "You know what? I wanted one more round of that." I said, "Because that were ace." I said, "One more round of that," and I said, "That would have been me made. I'd have been well happy." I said, "Because I'd have come out, I'd have been able to shine, myself, and I'd have been catching him a lot cleaner." But he said he couldn't have done another round. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "He's still in the pit." I says, "Shut up." I said, "He's still in there." So I turned around, and he was still on the floor.
Crazy.
Do you know what I mean? In the pit, and I followed the video afterwards, and it turns out that I timed it, and he was on the pit for 7.5 minutes before he got, after the last punch, to then getting out of the pit for 7.5 minutes, and then it turns out then the ambulance came for him, and they were on oxygen for half an hour after that. So that proves to me that man has given everything that he could at that time. Now I know he had to try and lose a bit of weight for me. We were way over my weight category anyway, even though he'd still managed to lose some weight. But the guy's built like a brick, and he's fighting Jamie Hendry next, and that's going to be an absolute.
That's going to be a banger.
That is going to be an absolute monster of a fight.
Jack
and know how hard Jacob wants it, because he's had to go back into jail, and he's been training 4 times a day. Do you know what I mean? And because he's only allowed out for 15 minutes with the coronavirus, and he's like in his cell, and he's been conditioning himself, 4 times a day, and he's going to be absolutely an absolute monster when he comes out. And Jamie,
strong man,
strong kid. He's a big kid and he's strong, but can he handle Jacob's speed? And it turns out Jacob's an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? He's had some good MMA fighters, but he's a stand-up artist. He's not a guy who wants to take you to ground and break your leg. He wants to beat you up while you stood up, which is, that's great. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I've said to Christian now. This is why I'm going back to the sponsors in regards to the supplements help, because I've said I'm never going to come in at 11 stone again. I am going to put on as much weight as I can, and then I'm going to get in my training camp, and I'm going to drop just below 12 stone, and I'm going to fight every single time just below 12 stone. And I don't care if you're at 10.5 stone and you want to come up and meet me, if because you might not come and fight me, so I'm not going down. If you want to fight me, my category is between 11 and 12 stone. I'll be at 12 stone.
So is that like solidified? That is your weight category now? No moving.
To be honest with you, I know I can drop below. If I really wanted to, I could drop below 11 stone. I also know now that with the correct supplements, I can actually go up if I really wanted to do. But you know what? Like at the moment, I'm really happy where I'm at, and I do know that the only reason I go up is to get a better fight.
Right.
I won't go. I won't want to go down weight, because there's no one going to be down there that's going to work me. If anything, I'd only ever go up to have a proper fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But good lads that are coming in. You've got some guys up at Newcastle. Who we got here? We've got Chrissy Bennett.
Oh, hi, Chrissy. Hi, good hand, Chrissy. Solid.
I know. Like some fighters say, they never look beyond the next fight. Tony says that he never looks beyond his next fight. Personally, don't get me wrong, I'm not naive. It's pit fighting, and anything can happen. So, but I ain't training for Tony. I'm not training for my next fight. I'm not training for Tony. I'm training right now for Chrissy Bennett.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No way.
Best lad on this circuit in boxing, not past boxing, because you've got the Bullet Karan, who's also a fighter, and he's a well-known artist. Do you know what I mean? But you've got Bennett, who's fighting Philip Anthony Hartley. Now, Philip Anthony, he's got knowledge of boxing. I watched him fight Seamus Devlin, and he got beat by Seamus Devlin, and Seamus didn't really have to work him really hard to beat him. and I do think it's a bit of an easy fight for Chrissy Bennett. He's going to walk through that, and then he's probably going to have another one, and then he's going to come and fight me, I reckon, after that. So the thing is like, for me, like, it's all right being people, because the pro boxers are going to come in the game and they're going to want a piece, because they all look at us and think, yeah.
They are going to say that they could do it. It's just
totally different.
I've heard people say it already. It's just like, just like proper intense close-up fighting. Like, that's not the case. Like, pit fighting is a different game. Like, it's not boxing, it's fighting. That's what it is.
It's fighting, it's not boxing, and you might be able to throw a planted 1-2, left hook, right hook, whatever you want, but when that man's, hustling you, he's ragging you, that's the thing. It's not just you're not standing there trading like you do in boxing. You're not cuddling each other going uppercut, left hook, right hand. I've got no gloves on. I'm going to squeeze your biceps. Do you know what I mean?
Get into them.
I'm going to put you in a position you don't want to be in. And all that boxing knowledge goes out the window, because you then become a fighter. And if you're not a bred fighter, just because you're a pro, the thing is that we're only going to get ex-professional boxers, we're not going to get professional boxers. They wouldn't risk their British Border Control boxing licence to fight with us, because they wouldn't do that. So we're going to be fighting ex-professional boxers. Now, I know that there's a reason why they're an ex-professional boxer, and that's rather because they didn't make it when you were young enough. They didn't like the lifestyle, because when you're a professional boxer, you have to hustle selling tickets constantly, and you have to train constantly because you're in the fitness game. And if you've only had a few fights, you know as well as I know, any pro boxers, they're fighting journeymen at first 8 more often than not. And these journeymen they're the toughest things going. Do you know what I mean? These journeymen can take a slap, and they can give a slap if they really want to do. They're paid not to do. And if you're not knocking down journeymen and you're not hurting them, then it kind of makes you think a little bit, doesn't it? Like, how far can I actually go if I've just stood there with a journeyman and he's just walks me out with 4 rounds, no drama.
Robbie, I'll give you good luck for that, Chrissy. But yeah, that's a good matchup. That I like to hear that, because I like watching Chrissy fight, and you're an exciting fighter yourself. So I actually can't wait for that. You are lightweight, aren't you? Lightweight in the Spartan rankings.
Sorry, I'm lightweight. Yeah.
Like, do you study everybody in your weight class? Have you seen the majority of your weight class fight?
Yeah, I've seen them all fight.
Right.
Like I said,
he has a question for you.
The people who worry me are people above. They're the people that I want to fight.
Yeah.
But obviously the weight's not gonna, because it's hard for me to put any weight on. Now, you know that, I don't know if you know, they've got a new BMF belt. Have you seen that?
Oh no, I haven't seen that. What's that, the baddest motherfucker one?
Christian's introduced a new BMF belt, which stands for bad motherfucker. Belt. Now, obviously it's not just between you, is it? I mentioned that to Christian ages ago, because one of your boys from up north, Michael Ord.
Yeah, he's from our hometown. Good lad, Michael.
John Hutton.
Mate, Michael, I love him. He's a little machine, little mad dog. Class.
He's a good kid, and he's he puts everything into it, which is great. And he's, and he went up against Michael Ord, and he is an absolute unit. Is Michael Ord absolute?
That's class.
His shoulders I said to Ben, I says, me and you stood together and still not wider than this kid. Do you know what I mean? And I said to our lass says, who will be fighting on Spartan 5? And we were in changing rooms at back. And I said he's big, he's bald, and he's quite a big fucker. Do you know what I mean? In regards to his muscly lad. And I seen John Hutton stood at the other side of the room. I said, oh, there he is, look, fucking there. And because my wife, she's like, what? I says, yeah. I says, he's mine. I said, and she looked at me, you know what? She didn't do nothing. She said nothing. And I said, are you glad that I was training? She went, yeah, I'm glad you trained. Do you know what I mean? That's all that she said. Right. And I said to Christian, I don't know what it is, alright, but it reminds me of that film, that Troy, when Troy goes up against that Goliath and he jumps up with that knife and sticks him at the beginning of it. Do you know what I mean? And I'd love to fight John Hutton personally. Now I aren't telling you that I'll beat John Hutton. I aren't saying I will look up to him now. But I would like to fight John Hutton.
He's a big unit, isn't he?
I mentioned this. This is when Christian will come up to me in regards to, who do you want to fight? You know, who can you fight? And
I'll fight everyone.
It don't matter, does it? It don't really matter, does it? Do you know what I mean?
Weirds are for fishermen and records are for DJs.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's a case that I go in there and I'll do what I can, everything that I can do, and I might shock someone. Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, if it go, then it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? What's he gonna do? He'll put me away, and yeah, he's a big shoveler. Apparently he's gone back to white collar to do a bit of learn how to box properly, and because he's not a puncher, he's a shoveler. Now, I think if Michael Lord would have caught him properly, now when Michael Lord throws an overhand right hand, he pulls his body weight down. Now when you're fighting a guy who's nearly 7 foot, you can't throw an overhand right hand and drag your body weight down.
You've got to keep them up, keep the straight punches up, moving.
Exactly. You've got to push him upwards. You've got to open him up like an umbrella. And if you can open your opponent up like an umbrella, if he's tall, that's how you're going to beat him. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way of beating him. And I don't know how much punishment that guy could take. And don't get me wrong, he did take a couple of good whacks from him. But did he take that? I don't think he got hustled out of that fight, did Michael Lord. And I would love to see the difference between somebody like me and John Hutton. Do you know what I mean? I know he's putting his belt back and he's had enough. But I don't know if that's saving for me. But it is what it is, isn't it? But that's the guy who for me, like if I just keep fighting and I go through a few of these pros, ex-pro boxers, for me, it's going to have to be someone not Hutton. And if I lose against someone like John Hutton, I'm a proud man. Do you know what I mean? I'm a proud man at that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Michael Ord. I've trained the guy myself. I've trained him in his Ross Chittick bouts. I've done training with him when he went down to Wales when Bobby Gunn was present there. He's got the heart and balls the size of a gorilla. He's just not disciplined enough. No. We were trying to, we had him looking good at one point, and it just went. He broke his hand and he just got undisciplined, and I think that took it out of him, and I didn't know what happened from there, but he gets unnecessary stick round here, but I tell you what, half the people around here wouldn't even have the balls to do a quarter what he's done. Nah, it's that simple as that.
Is a very, very small percentage of people in the world that would have got in a pit, especially a pit with John Hutton.
I totally agree with you. He's well respected in the bare knuckle community, Michael. I remember because I had a bare knuckle bout on the same shows on that Bat to the Bone. And when Michael came out, like, it was just the atmosphere, man. Everybody was stood up, slow clapping while they introduced him to the ring. They talked about his career. Like, the man just comes with so much energy. He walks into that ring with the confidence of 10 men.
The man really brought the world, if you want to really be truthfully honest, because he had the first actual sanctioned bare knuckle bout in Newcastle.
He brought
the first one since 1800.
The man brought it.
So I think people at Ashington, stop calling him. He's got some balls.
Big shout out to Michael.
Big shout out.
Massive.
Big respect there, definitely.
So Robbie, honestly, you've had me thinking over this last 3 days. What's this announcement?
The announcement?
Yes. Have you got an announcement to make? Is there something you wanting to get off your chest? Is there anything that you wanting to say, or?
Well, I told you there is an announcement. I can't remember what it is.
Was that the Chrissy Bennett?
Oh yeah, that's the one.
I thought it was. That's the one.
That's what I thought about.
I was thinking.
It's going to happen, and he's getting ready up there now to have a couple of getting his experience up in the pit. So it's not going to come at me being fresh and and untoward, you know. He's going to know exactly what he's going to be coming up against. Now, bearing in mind, look at his trainer. I think Gary Furby's training him. Do you know what I mean? And any man, Gary Furby. You see, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose against the best guy in that division.
That's the way to look at it, mate.
Robbie, obviously, apart from yourself, who do you, in your eyes, at the moment, I'll not say top 10. In fact, I will say top 10 because some of the rankings they've been feeling out. They're not solidified yet. That's fight's still to happen. Who in the top 10 do you think gives you the hardest night?
No one.
No one.
No. Like I think there's obviously the hardest fight. I think Curtis Nelson, he throws it down really well. I don't really believe that Tony can hurt me. I think he can beat me if he cuts me. But the thing is for me, if how I explain it is like, take that breath away, right? Check that the medics away. Because the medics throw a red towel in when you've got a cut. The medics throw a towel in, and they check you out. And if the cut's too bad, they'll just call it off. Now, cancel that. Yeah, if you take all that away, there's nobody in that top 10 that's going to hurt me enough for me to lose. Do you know what I mean? When they're training, I train with people, right? And I have to explain to them, look, when you're training with me, don't start feeling bad about yourself. Do you know what I mean? I said, if you start feeling bad, you'll start getting depressed if you're training with me, because you might think that like Tony Meehan's going to be, when he comes to fight me, he's going to be the best fighter he has ever been. He's going to be training harder than he's ever trained. He's going to be more knowledgeable than he's ever been.
Yeah.
But that doesn't even tip the iceberg of where I'm already at.
That's what
some people do twice a day, 3 times a day. All right. Well, what do you do when you train? You know, I go do a few weights, do a few press ups, and that's a session. No, mate, that's not a session. If I remember leaving gyms, right, to an extent where I can't drive home.
I absolutely
fucked. I really had to ring people up and say, you have to drive me home. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't physically drive home. I'm wrecked. Do you know what I mean? My body is absolutely wrecked. And if normally when boxing, the gyms are properly open. If I ain't got a black eye, there's something wrong. Do you know what I mean? Everybody knows me as a black eye. A customer, for instance, yeah. I always apologise if I've got a black eye, right? And I say, sorry, I've got a black eye, I do boxing. I don't mention I'm a bare knuckle boxer, some people don't like it. Well, if they are interested, then I'll explain it to them. And I'm telling you, the bare knuckle boxing scene is everybody's buzzing off of it. When I explain to a customer about bare knuckle boxing, they absolutely love it. And they start messaging me afterwards again, I can't believe I'm sitting here watching and I've had a bare knuckle British champion in my house, you know, fixing the bleeding boiler. I mean, they're absolutely loving it. Do you know what I mean? Like for me with training, I'll train until I drop, and most people the training levels are different, so I've got to explain to them, look, don't be upset by if I catch you or I'm playing, you know, if we're sparring, I don't even spar properly. Do you know what I mean? I'm playing. Do you know what I mean? And that's not what I need to be doing. This is why I know also that I've got a lot more to give. Do you know what I mean? I have got so much more to give, and I'm not even anywhere near where I need to be good at. Do you know what I mean? So this is why people like Chrissy Bennett, when they're coming in, you know, I need them to be back in they're getting on it, get back onto the professional training. And then let's see what these boxers are about, and then it's going to be a scrapper versus the boxer. Yeah, I'm an ex-boxer, but I'm only an amateur boxer, and obviously I had a few unlicensed, but officially I'm a scrapper. I'm a fighter that's trained, and not only that is, there ain't much that's going to stop me. Do you know what I mean? I've had my head stamped on. I've had street fights where, imagine my head, you know them machines that you've got, them balls that you punch and it flies up and gives you a score.
Yes. Oh yes.
Imagine my head is one of them, right? And I've been sidewinded that many times, full on sidewinded. I got sidewinded at Creamfields in 2017, I think it was. And I literally, bloke come up to me and says, look mate, you need to put your chain away. I says, what do you mean? I says, you need to put your gold chain away. So if you don't, one of them boys over there is going to come take it off you. Do you know what I mean? And this lad got shoulder barged that way, and this stocky little lad, he loaded up the best right hand punch you've ever seen in your life, and he connected on my jaw beautifully. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't even fall over. I took it, I absorbed the shot, took it, and I turned at them, all of them, and I went, come on! Do you know what I mean? And I fucking absolutely just dived. I'm not bothered by his mates, but the one man who smashed me, he got done. Do you know what I mean? He got done big time. And that's the bit where. That's the bit where, like my dad, for instance, I've not really told many people this, but my dad used to spar with a guy called Richard Dunn.
Right. Oh, wow, yes, fought Muhammad Ali.
Dunn fought Muhammad Ali. Do you know what I mean? Now, I understood that, but I never really took it far. And then one day, I was in a pub one day, and this bloke says to me, he says, he was talking to my dad, and he come over to me, and he was speaking to me a week before, and he said to me, is that your dad? I said, yeah. He says, fuck off. I said, yes, that's my dad. And if you know my dad, he's the nicest, gentlest guy in the world, right? He's a big guy, but he's gentle as all. And I said, why? I said, that's just me. He said, your dad's fucking nuts. I said, nah, he ain't nuts. He said he's, you know, I know he can throw a punch and he's done his boxing in his days, but he's a soft one. He said, no, honestly. I said, best way of explaining your dad, he says, if there were 15 lads on the other side of the road and your dad was stood with 3, your dad would say, odds are even. Let's have it. Now that is me. It's like through and through. Like I said to you before, when I got smashed up, when I got my jaw snapped in a little bits, when I was fighting him on that train station, there were me on my own, and I had 2 boys behind me. They weren't going to come and fight for me, but for me, odds are even. It is what it is, and it don't really matter what's going to happen, does it?
Life is one big gamble.
It is. It's a gamble, isn't it? And you win or you lose. Obviously, you clearly know you're walking into a loss at that point, but what's it matter?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the old days of fighting. Obviously, the new days of fighting, what does it matter? The chances are that you're going to get stabbed, and this is where that needs to stop. Let's go back to the old days, and let these young boys have the experience of what people like me have had, of these big, massive brawls that have been absolutely, amazing, and then live and tell the tale.
That's what I keep saying with the people we've had on. I mean, some of the guys who have been on the absolute monsters, but gentlemen in their own right, in their own world. But this is today's society to back then. There's no social rank now. I mean, that I understand the police wanted to get these like gangland type people off the streets, but back in the day, that sort of kept people in order, and it put you in your place. You knew your rank. You knew not to go above what you were punching above your weight. Hence today, these haven't got these youths today. They see these gangland people in jail that haven't got them telling them, look, you shouldn't be doing this. Didn't be touching kids. Didn't be touching vulnerables. Stuff like that. To like pass on down to the youth today, they haven't got that. That's why they're just free willingly. They'll stab you, they'll jump you with 50, and they'll just put a cap in you. Simple as that. No social order.
No social order, no respect.
Nothing.
They're not listening to anybody. You can't tell a kid nowadays. Do you know what I mean? I've got an 8-year-old little girl. You can't tell her what to do because she thinks she's right. Or you tell her what to do, you'll tell her off, and she'll tell you it back.
My son's the same.
Obviously, this is where it all comes into in regards to when people say, how do you discipline your kids nowadays? Because legally wise, you can't. What do you do? Put them on a notice step and tell her off. Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? I got brought up with my dad getting his belt out on me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he used to crack it. You hold it together and you crack it, and you had that belt and you didn't want to have to do with him. And he used to put his boxing gloves on that used to be all brown, and they used to have they were all old, and every time they touch your face or your skin, they'd scratch you. Do you know what I mean?
Those leather gloves.
Not knocking me out, but it slapped me up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And that's.
My stepfather was in the military, and he was exactly the same. It just you didn't bullshit them type of people. Definitely not.
You don't bullshit them. You tell them how it is, and if you've done something naughty, and they ask you, "What have you done?" You tell them. If something wrong, I want my daughters to grow up where if Mr. Man over the road does something wrong, tells you to keep it quiet, right? I want you to tell me. I want you to be able to.
Oh, 100%.
That's the courage that kids need to be able to say, look, Mr. Manoda told me not to tell you that he touched my leg. Now my daughter needs to tell me stuff like that. If that sort of stuff ever happens, she needs the confidence to tell you. But now this is why people think they can get away with it, because they can tell kids stuff and they don't say nothing to nobody.
That's it. Like, if I've got a daughter. I mean, she's the same age as my team member here, and honest, if I would be exactly the same. Everybody is a sane person until the family is hurt.
Aye. Oh, 100%.
Because I'm not going to say on the podcast, but I know there would be very many very disgruntled people, and that's just the norm. It would be.
Oh, aye.
Once your family's hurt, that's
all.
Your
family comes within danger.
Yes,
you've got to act on a different level.
Everything goes out the window.
Aye.
I mean,
you've got to be able to teach them children. I believe in bringing my kids up the same way as I've got brought up. Do you know what I mean?
Old school.
And old, and that's what because my kids are wild. They're absolutely. Honestly, they're nuts. They watch me boxing. I've got a 1-year-old that she'll go shh, shh, shh.
Yes, get in.
They're watching me boxing, and they train. And my daughter's train as well. And my oldest daughter, she's a ginger, and I'm not joking. Any man who, if she ever brings a man home, I'm gonna shake his hand and go, "Good luck, bro. You don't need me to knock you out. You can handle her. You're all right." That sort of girl, and hopefully, she'll have her morals. She'll stick to her morals. Hopefully, good. Talk, and she'll be a good girl. Do you know what I mean? But it's hard work. You get told you can't really bring them up the way that you should. I believe you should bring them up. Do you know what I mean? But world we live in.
Very, very, very proud of how my daughter's just went and done about her business. She's done it all right. Started out at McDonald's and now works for the NHS. Very proud. Done our tests and everything. Turned out to be a beautiful young woman. So she's really got her life set ahead. So I'm very happy on that department. Now it's just time to get my son on that path. Definitely, 100%. So
after this lockdown thing, she's been. If she worked for NHS, she'd been a proper key worker, hero, what's she?
She does a lot of administration work, and like I say, I remember when it was all happening, she was on the phone. I mean, obviously people around here know who my daughter is, but she was on the phone crying, stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not very old. She's not very old. She's only in her early 20s, and like I say, she just found it quite hard, stressful. This was thrust upon everybody at like a pace that nothing's been done before.
Aye, it just spiraled out of control.
Spiraled, definitely 100%. I mean, but hey, we're coming out of it that way, so it's all looking good. Spartan shows is getting booked left, right, and centre.
We reckon September. It's a little bit awkward, really, because I've put on a lot of weight and I'm trying to lose it correctly, and I'm just above my optimum weight now, and I need to be. Pardon? No, not by much. To be honest with you, I wish I were further away, because the harder you train, the more I lose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Fast metabolism.
I eat like an horse. I'm on supplements, taking as much as I can, and I don't want this weight to drop off too much, because, like I said, I want to try manage my weight, so I'm fighting at the proper weight. Now, if I were fighting in August, Spartan Tyneside were on the 8th of August. Now, I would be dropping in on the 8th of August, absolutely spot on. Do you know what I mean? But right now, it's going to get pushed back another month. I believe it will do, and I'm going to. I've now got 4 weeks to find, what I've got to do. What do I do? Because do you stop training? Do you drop off training? Not train as much, but try and put some weight on. It's awkward. It's a bit, it's really awful. Without supplements, if you helping me out with that, I'd be absolutely stuck. But I've got a gentleman called Benjamin Spence, and he's got a company called RBR Removals, and he's coming on board and helping me out shortly with I have a chiropractor,
right,
just because I train hard, do you know what I mean? And it's hard work. I'm 33 years old, do you know what I mean? And my muscles and my body they don't work like they want to work, like they used to work, you know what I mean? My joints, I have to wear knee braces, I can't do what I used to be able to do.
Yeah.
I keep my mileage down. I don't run very, very far because I can't, because my joint, not my muscles, but my
joints.
I understand that because I'm 35 myself, and me trying to go back to training, I thought I was going to go back and be exactly what I was like when I was 20, 21, and I couldn't even get inside. I couldn't move my feet to get inside. That's when I was like, what are you doing here, Lee? You've got no place to be here, no right. It's not your time anymore. And you're right there. You've got to train smarter, not harder.
Aye, 100%.
Yes, exactly. That's absolute brilliant knowledge there. That what you just said. Then you've got to train smarter, not harder. I mean, the thing is, like you know us, I know you can train all you want, but you're the fittest man in the world. But if you go in there and don't do what you need to do, and you don't fight smart, then it all goes west. I've been the fittest guy in the world, and I've gone in there, and because I've fought the guy instead of boxing him and using my breath and my breathing and the ring to move around and use space, I've literally outblown myself. And I'm thinking, how many more miles did I need to run? How much more fitness did I need to do? And it ain't even none of that. It ain't any of that. All I had to do was fight properly in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Box. Use my knowledge, and obviously in this game, this is pit fighting. This is where it goes a little bit out the window. As much knowledge or as much as you train how to be a professional boxer or whatever, it's not boxing. It ain't boxing.
No.
You can't cross that line when it comes to it. You'll find yourself in a bad place. Do you know what I mean? And it's not nice.
It's not nice. I tell you what, a boxing ring, or just from experience and non-experience in the pit or nothing like that, they are a very, very, very lonely place. That is the place where the truth will be told, no matter what.
Correct. That is facts. That is where the truth is told. And when you say lonely, that is
isn't it?
A lonely place. And it don't matter if you've got a corner man screaming at you, or anybody. You cannot hear outside. The ring. It's just a blur because you're focused on everything. I mean, on the last fight that I had, the whole crowd was shouting my name. Robbie. You know what I mean? And that's,
yes.
I heard that, not hear that. Do you know what I mean? That like that. This is crazy. This. You know what I mean? The whole crowd. Because they all thought we were going to get banged out. They all watched Jacob Williams walk into that. He jumped into that pit, ripped his shirt off, and he's a machine, mate. He's absolutely massive. And then they saw me. I came into In Between Us song, tune. Like an absolute nugget. I did it on purpose because I don't really care. Do you know what I mean? And I came in dancing to that. I was doing the actual dance, where they're dancing across the nightclub in my glove. Yeah, where I do like a little pony ride. So I'm doing that, and I'm like making myself look a dickhead, but I don't care. Do you know what I mean? This is. I'm so relaxed. I'm so chilled. I love fighting. I love everything about it, and I'm not scared. So it is what it is, and whatever happens is going to happen. And I went in there, and everybody thought I was getting knocked out. He dragged me all over. Do you know what I mean? He gave me everything he could do. But it wasn't enough. I cut his chin really early. He split my nose really. He hit me hard in my nose. It actually split the corner of my nose, come away from the skin. So my nose wasn't even connected, and they stopped it really early. Did the people with the red towel, the fruit towel in, and I'm like, whoa! I said, don't worry about me getting cut. I said, this guy was giving me some good licks, and I said, obviously for me, I need him to keep giving me big licks. So he tires out quicker. Do you know what I mean? That once he giving me some licks, how long can he do that for? Because there ain't many people that can do that. No chance. I fight for 5 2-minute rounds. Do you know what I mean? And if we have a fight that lasts that long for 5 2-minute rounds, fighting that way, mate, we're going to come out looking like the Elephant Man. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Damage.
Big damage.
Proper damage, but fight in the pit. This is why I love the pit, and I believe it is a safer world in the pit. I boxed with gloves on for years, and I've sparred really hard. To be a boxer, you have to do a lot of sparring. To be a pit fighter, you don't have to do a lot of sparring. You can't spar pit fighting, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't do like Tony don't spar, which is fine. You know, you don't really have to spar that much. But I do spar, but I don't spar anywhere near like I used to do as much.
Mm-hmm.
But most people, when they're getting head damaged, it's the brain that gets damaged before they then go into a fight and then get damaged even more. And that's how you see people dying. As where in a pit, most people, as soon as they see blood, the head changes. The concept of shit, I took a big whack then and I'm bleeding. They've looked for an out. They've been given like a get out of jail free card, where none of the mates can turn around and go, "Oh, you lost against such." Yeah, I've got a 4-inch gash in my face. Do you know what I mean? My face is split, so you can't argue with that person. Do you know what I mean? And they've managed to get in there in the first place. But I did a video just after when I woke up the next day. I got a shower and the bath was covered in blood, and on the video I explained, look, this is why I believe that pit fighting, especially pit fighting with no gloves on, is safer. Because I'm full of bruises, I've got lumps everywhere, I've got marks on my chest. I'm in a proper fight, but my brain, it felt perfect. It was clean, it was fresh. As where I've been in sparring matches and I woke up next day and I've had a headache, and that's brain damage. That's your brain bruised, and that's, like I said, I'll never box with gloves on again, and I don't really want to. If I can help it, I don't ever want to ring fight. The only reason I'll ring fight is if we get invited over to America with Christian, I will. If they won't fight me in the pit, if they won't fight us with me, but our boys in the pit, I've said to Christian, look, let's get a good team of fighters that are ex-boxers. We can all box. Ben Pickles, he's a good boxer, and a good pit fighter. He wants to fight. Who does he want to fight? Ben Pickles. I wrote it down. I was training with him earlier in Scott Misley's gym. Yeah, Ben Pickles. He wants to fight Jamie.
I've got where you are.
Yeah, he wants to fight Jamie Endre, and he wants to fight Darnell John.
Right.
He's 14 stone is Ben Pickles, right?
Big lad.
And fighting at cruiserweight, which is 15 to 16 stone, it's not his weight category. He needs to be dropping down. So I think, he's put it to me today. I said, you need to just tell the world, Jamie Endre, right? He wants a shot at Jamie Endre, and then he wants a shot at Darnell John. Do you know what I mean? And I think that would be an absolute eye-opener of a fight.
So we've got some more exclusives.
Alright.
I say I've trained with Ben Pickles, and he can generally box. And if needs be, like I said, going back over to America, if Americans say, look, we won't fight you over here unless we do fight in a ring or fight in hay bales with more space. And I think there's talks to do a 9x9.
I was going to say, speaking of American opponents, Robbie, right, transatlantic title, has there any word of if there's going to be any? No,
not as such for me. I mean, we've been lightweight, because what you got to remember is lightweight's a little bit of an awkward weight, because at lightweight to those people who are wanting to fight lightweights are rather ex-professional boxers that should be fighting at 10 stone or 9 stone and 10 stone that I put weight on. Unnatural weight on, and they're now 11 to 12 stone. Now, them natural boxers that fight at that weight, 9 and 10 stone, don't really want to be getting in a bare knuckle fight with a guy at 11 to 12 stone who can actually fight. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got the lads that are heavier, that are, they used to fight at 11 and 12 stone, but then they've got to go back into training to get themselves back down to 11 to 12 stone, and they struggle because it's hard work. It's not. It's like you, like me now. I physically, for me to get a six-pack, it's so unreal. It's I don't understand what I have to do. I don't know how much training I have to do To get a six-pack or make my muscles show, do you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. My body type's not done how it works. But same as like anyone who wants to go think they can get back in the game. They used to fight at 11 to 12 stone, and now they're 14 stone, let's say. To drop to that weight, it's not easy work, and that's what puts a lot of people off. The hard work. They stand there and say, "Yeah, I can do it," but when they get into a gym, and like you just said before, when you were training and you realised it's time to step away and let the other lads do it.
I found it really. I struggled. It was just not the same. I mean, I had a fan friendly style when I used to spar loads back in the day. I mean, we used to punch 7 bells of shite into each other. I mean, I know that type of style doesn't last forever, but it was just the footwork. It was the fundamentals. My brain was working, but pardon?
Did it upset you? Knowing that you can't. It upset for me. It upset me thinking like my brain wants it, but it's not there anymore. Do you know what I mean? And mentally, like in regards to like people having depression and stuff like that, there's nothing worse than having to come to face with it's not you anymore, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I was very lucky in that respect because although I did miss it, I was occupied. I was busy working for the magazines. I was contributing to a local magazine. But that came a little bit later. But I was contributing to websites in America, struck up a couple of good relationships with some good writers and stuff like that. So I was occupied. I had something to focus on. Now, I know when people sometimes go through that transition, they haven't got anything to fall back on, hence why it becomes a little bit tougher for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like I said,
it is an hard thing. I think boxing, as good as boxing for me has been the best thing. I wouldn't say it saved my life because I'd never actually do myself in, but it has put me on a path and it guided me to where I needed it to guide. Now I say to people, because a lot of people do this bare knuckle, trying to sort out mental problems. Do you know what I mean? Not same with boxing as well, but let's just go for the bare knuckle thing because they see it and they think, you know what, I can have an easy entrance into this. And yeah, I've had a few fights, but I'm mentally a little bit cold at the moment. But I'm going to do it. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is like, don't use the boxing as an excuse, as a fix. You have to use your training as a fix, and the fight at the end of it is a bonus.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? The fight is the bonus, but you are going to fix yourself from training, and don't stop training.
Definitely.
But then do not stand. I've had lads that have said, "Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it," but then they don't train. So then they don't train, but then they psychologically put themselves in an even worse position because the time's getting shorter. The fights are going to happen in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and they're going, "Oh, I should have trained." So mentally, it's too late for them at that point. They've now put themselves in a position where they weren't mentally be stable in the first place. They thought they could handle the training, but they didn't, and it then creeped up on them too soon, and they were, now they've got to jump in, or they then face more mental issues with letting everybody down, which is even worse, isn't it? Nobody wants to let people down.
Definitely not. I mean, it's definitely not a situation that would be very liked upon, but I've got to put this one to you as well. So, everything goes alright. Chrissy wins his couple of fights, gets the experience. Here's the one. Christian puts a European title on the line, you and Chrissy, for the British and European. How does that sound?
Well, Chrissy Bennett will fight me for the world title, won't
I tell you what, main confidence is key, especially in fighting.
It is. I'm not going to lie. Do you know what I mean? I know. I believe in myself in regards to what I can do. But like somebody else was telling me earlier, we're talking about luck, and obviously, there's a lot of people believe in God and Jesus and all that sort of stuff, or whatever your religion may be. Now, I don't believe in all that sort of stuff. I believe in myself. I don't disrespect anybody who does. I believe there's a place for it. But me, I create my own luck. Now, if I put myself forward to stepping in a ring with somebody like Chrissy Bennett, I'm going to create my look by training properly and being the best man that I could ever be. Do you know what I mean? Now, when I go in there and beat that guy, I ain't beating him because I was lucky. I'm beating him because I created my own look. Do you know what I mean? And that's the same with everybody else. When people say, "Oh, you're lucky, you've got this big house, this and that," and it's like, no, I got with the right friends. I had a choice. I could have gone with the bad friends. I could have gone, and gone down the wrong route. But I didn't. I stayed with my connections with the right people, and I stayed friends with the right people. I got in the right circles, and the right job got offered to me. Now that is you creating your own look, not being lucky. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
You could put yourself in the position that you're currently in, and if you go into a fight and you're not ready for it, and fair enough, BKB in a pit, you can have a lucky shot. You could catch somebody with a lucky shot. You could not train. There's guys out there in the world that can come in there and catch me and take my head clean off and cut me badly. Like Tony Meehan, I'm not saying Tony Meehan can't beat me, because of course he can, but he ain't going to hurt me. Do you know what I mean? He can cut me, and he can win the fight from a cut. But do I think that he'll stop me? No, it's not even. It doesn't even entertain me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not no disrespect to Tony. He's a top guy. I absolutely, as a fan, I'm fighting the guy, and I'm a fan of his. He's a top lad. Absolutely great at what he does. His media, the way that he promotes things is absolutely spot on. I gave him some advice the other day because he was feeling a little bit down. I don't know if you've seen the post, and I said, come on, keep going, bro. Do you know what I mean? You're doing a really good job. You're training. Every day that I see him training, he's getting better. And he is getting better. You know what? It makes me feel good. Because he's going to fight me at being the best Tony Meehan he's ever going to be. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I want. Do you know, I don't want to fight Tony if he's not all in it. But personally believe that Tony Meehan needs to drop down a weight. He struggles. He gets to he said to you on your podcast that he gets to 11 stone. Like I said, really, he wants to be fighting at the top of 10 to 11 stone, because that's how it is. If you're fighting, any fighter goes in as heavy as they can do. Do you know what I mean? And that's exactly what I'm going to do from now on.
Robbie, when we were speaking, like not on the podcast, but when we were talking the other day, when we were saying you were going to try and get on the Spartan Tyneside show, but obviously now speaking that it's going to be pushed back a month, obviously with you, obviously weight wise and stuff like that. Do you think your next fight is going to be Tony, or do you want one before Tony?
Well, we're doing a documentary, aren't we?
Yeah, you are. Yes.
We're doing a documentary, and that's going to be filmed up at Tyneside. At the first fight, it's going to be Tyneside, and then they're going to probably film me going for the world title shot. Do you know what I mean? Which will be brilliant. Well, I hope Tony wins his next fight. I really do. I'm going to be screaming his name in that corner. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be losing my voice, because I want him to win.
I think it's a fantastic matchup.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I want him to win, because I want to fight the guy he's going to be undefeated 4 times, and I want to beat that kid. Do you know what I mean? I want to beat Tony Meehan, the man. Do you know what I mean?
It's a fantastic matchup. I honestly do think. See, I even said this to Tony. I mean, you would think 3 fights, he's a world champion. I know that first fight, it was like given to him. He wasn't meant to be fighting for the world title, but he filled in. He's sort of done it a little bit backwards. You would think that he would have had like British then world, but I honestly do. I think it's a fantastic matchup.
Exciting.
Very exciting matchup.
Exciting.
It's promoted beautifully, because both me and him, we're not scared of showing videos. And this is why I respect Tony, because he admits it. He's like, I'm not the best boxer in the world. He said, but I'm a fighter, and I'll fight, and I'm learning. And he shows videos, and every time he puts a video up, he's learning, and bless him. Do you know what I mean? He's getting better and better, and that's it's nice to see that. Do you know what I mean?
We're gonna have to when that fight is scheduled. I'm going to have to speak to Christian, because I would love to be part of something like that fight, because I would love to do something beforehand with you and Tony. So whether I would do like a couple of days with you, a couple of days with Tony, I would love to do something like that, because I think that's a good. The fight for the weight is this fight.
It is. This fight has got to happen. Yeah, definitely.
It has to happen.
And this is the one thing that I've got massive respect for Tony, because Tony won't not fight me. He ain't scared of me, which is, I don't want anyone to be scared of me. But he won't not fight me, because he could easily go, oh yeah, I'm injured and I'm going to drop down to welterweight, the next level below. Which I think he will shine in that category.
Mm-hmm.
As a scrapper, you can swing all day long at that weight, and you just keep whacking each other, and they're going to be really exciting fights. I know a lot of people do go on about the heavyweights, but I'm not joking. You watch an heavyweight hit each other a few times with no gloves on, it's getting ended really quickly. And you watch two lightweights fight, and they're just bashing the hell out of each other, and they just keep going because they haven't got knockout power. Now, I've got power, but I'm not the strongest kid in the world. Do you know what I mean? But I'm fast. So you swap one punch to say 3 of mine, and I would rather be punched with that big one whack than 3 smaller, solid, clean shots that mine would come from.
It's like boxing, Robbie. The little weights. I mean, barring the 90s, I mean, the big fights have all been welterweight and a little bit higher. It's not been predominantly. I mean, the heavyweights have only come back into play. I mean, since Fury took the belt off Klitschko, it's only become exciting then. I mean, the influx of heavyweight fighters now, that sprung board off. I mean, we really did go through a really boring period. I mean, I shouldn't say boring, because it was effective chess boxing, what the Klitschko's applied. Or I should speak for Vladimir, because Vitaly was just...
That's right, that's a good way of putting it, chess boxing. That's what it's like, isn't it?
It was definitely very effective, but even Mayweather, excluding the early career, Pretty Boy Floyd, I mean, money made. You're paying that. Look, that's the lower weights. The lower weights have always generated some bloody massive fights.
Yeah. That's it. The amount of shots thrown, the amount of shots landed, and they just keep going. And it's brutal. And there will be 5-round fights. These champions that are in the weights below us will go 5 rounds. Me and Tony. If I don't get caught, right, and I can't stop Tony. If I can't stop Tony, then we're going 5 rounds, 100%. Because I'm not stopping, and like I said, for me, it's the fact take the referee away, take the cuts away. Don't let him stop it for a cut. I would be absolutely gutted. Now, he can beat me on a cut, but he ain't going to outclass me, and he ain't going to outpower me. And fitness-wise, he ain't going to outdo me on fitness. And I think that his problem is he's vulnerable for a big shot, and he's learning how to box, which is great. Now, the only problem with him learning how to box is he ain't going to then beat me at boxing, because of my experience, his best way of beating me is fighting me, and that's it. Just come out, fight me, and if I get caught early, bad enough to get it stopped, I will be gutted. And this is why I'm not going to give him 30 seconds. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to come out there, and the plan is to, get things done with as quick as I can. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me and him could turn into a real match. As if I don't hate, I love the guy, but the fight when we're in there will turn into it'll almost look like a hatred fight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just business, not personal, isn't it?
Real nasty.
Yeah. Honestly, Robbie, I could sit here and chat to you all day, but I only get a certain amount of bandwidth to upload. Sorry. We've got to do this again.
Definitely, mate. Like you said, I could chat to you all day long.
Honestly, we're gonna have to. We'll honestly definitely arrange this again for some other time. But in the meantime, I'm gonna obviously keep in touch with. I think obviously this is gonna possibly lead to another Tony one. because I believe in neutralism.
Yeah,
So if you wanted your say, I believe if Tony wants to come back to that, we'll give him the platform to do that. Like I say, we in no way, shape or form take sides of anybody's beef, hatred towards each other.
We're just happy to be a part of the journey, really.
That's all we are. We just...
No beef. The thing is, there's no beef. For me, it's I'm a professional all the way down the line.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I same with Chrissy Bennett. I'm not calling Chrissy Bennett out because I'm saying to Chrissy Bennett I'm gonna wipe the floor. That's not the case. I'm saying Chrissy Bennett. I want the fight. Every time I go in that pit, I want the fight of my life.
Yes.
And Chrissy Bennett is gonna be the fight of my life. Tony Meehan is gonna be a great fight, but Chrissy Bennett, that's gonna be, mate. It's gonna be. You won't have to sell tickets to that show, bro.
That's going to be fireworks.
Definitely.
Right. I enjoy that.
Ending on that, Robbie, it's been great speaking to you, mate. We'll keep in touch and we'll get you on again.
Aye, thanks for coming on, Robbie. It's been mint.
Well, man, I'll see you soon, guys.
Yeah, speak soon, mate. Ta-da. Ta-da. Bye, mate. Well.
Aye, what a bloke. He's been through it all, hasn't he? He's done all sorts of fighting and he's fun at pit fighting.
Get some people on here. They've really
nowadays, mate, they're real people with real stories. They're cracking on and they're just living life the way they do it. It's mint.
Definitely.
Right, I just want to jump in and say that we are in association with Pound for Pound Boxing News. They're a social web page that it's just all things boxing, knockout compilations, past events, up and coming events, interviews, stuff like that. And that they're all on like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. That's Pound for Pound Boxing News, and as always we're in association with the Pugilist magazine. That's thepugilistmagazine.co.uk. It's a free monthly online boxing magazine that gives you like the present news, past events, and once again all things boxing. You can find them on platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and that's all at the Pugilist Mag.
And as always, we're sponsored by the guys over at newhemp.co.uk. We've got vapes, balms, oils, everything. Check out the online shop, the lab results they've even got there. We've got everything. Blog on CBD, how it's helped people. We've got a discount code here for you for 15% off. Plain and simple, capital letters, Lee, and that's L-E-E. And yeah, check over the website, have a look. That's New Hemp.
You can also go over to TeePublic and check out the Bad Blood podcast and like official merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, baby growers, like children's t-shirts, laptop cases, phone cases, the lot, notepads, like everything. Just go over, have a look, show some support. Every purchase supports an indie artist, and that's teepublic.com/Bad Blood podcast.
Right, guys, we've got another one coming up another two coming up for you tomorrow. We've got the well-respected Paddy Maloney coming on. Done many things in his time as well. Run around with a few notorious faces from the northeast. Very well-respected man. And we've also got the governor himself, Gary Furby, coming on to the show. Looking forward to speak to him. He is an associate. He helps Christian along with the Spartan guys, so that's going to be really interesting as well. But until then, peace out, guys.
Peace.